beloved souls. Welcome to a commentary channel. My name is Jem. I'm an author, a psychic medium, channeler, and truth seeker. And because I'm a widow on the pension, don't have money to do marketing for my over 20 books that I've published on Amazon. You can go to Amazon Kindle actually, and you can publish a book for free. But I don't have marketing costs. I can't afford marketing. So I thought I would read excerpts from some of my books, post them to my YouTube channel in a way of perhaps marketing. Now this book, I love the name, Dangerous Deceptions and Deadly Delusions of the Creative, Cultured and Collective Consciousness. It's available on Amazon. This work was originally completed in 2014 and saved on a USB stick, where it was forgotten to 2020. It explores the mindset of humans in sometimes wacky, eccentric, and sometimes dangerous cults and beliefs and extremes based on the author's research up to 2014. Unfortunately, it was password protected, and the password has long since been forgotten, so editing changes were impossible. The author, however, feels the topics are still relevant today, even nearly a decade later. Basically, a brief general history and expose of brainwashing beliefs and ideologies. I've just randomly chosen anywhere, and it's demonic possession. When one critically examines the evidence of demonic possession, one draws the conclusion of something being badly wrong. Some of the difficulties I have with arguments I will present, and the reader can postulate their own point of view. Number 1. Some victims of demon possession have been children under the age of 10. It is my understanding biblical agreement says a child is innocent until the age of 10. Number 2. Many demonic possessions occur in non-Christian. Why would demons attack sinners who are already destined for hell anyway? Number 3. The mass hysteria, mass attacks that occurred in the witch era. For example, in the Salem cases, as mentioned, several girls fitted like they were possessed, and this is what convicted the witch. These girls were viewed as innocent, yet should such fits occur today, it would be perceived as demonic possession. Number 4. Mental illness, such as multiple personalities. Number 5. In the many instances of serial killers whose acts could be likened to being possessed by a demon, as they are so evil, it has been shown that before they turned to their violent crimes, they had suffered a significant head injury. Now, a Christian believer in demonic possession would argue they believe. Validity? What about the fact they can do incredible feats beyond human capabilities, or that they speak another language, etc.? Well, when one is baptized in the Holy Spirit, one of the signs is speaking in another language. In my life, I have witnessed so-called demonic possession saw people hiss and spit, etc. I myself have levitated. The proper method to readdress the issue of fears beyond human capabilities is to attack that notion. Firstly, to hold such an opinion means that the person believes the human is only able to do certain things. For example, cannot fly. In arriving at this, one has accepted limitations, bound in a physical, solid, limited, dimensional reality based on what they can see with their own eyes. However, our senses are capable of lying to us. The following examples are listed. Number 1. Our eyes tell us the sky and space is above us. We are in fact upside down and the sky is actually below us. Number 2. Physics tell us everything is made of atoms. Atoms are in constant motion, even in solids. Number 3. Our eyes tell us the sky is blue. It is the ozone which makes it blue. Our senses are easily tricked. We hallucinate. Further, pious people have said to do the very same inhumane feat demon-possessed people can do. Again, how did ordinary people build the pyramids? How does an ordinary person come up with a new invention? We all believe that if we believe in ourselves, anything is possible, that we can do anything. Demonic possession is further modified by other things. Genetic memories. Is it not possible for the brain to access genetic memory? What if speaking other languages, the demon-possessed has just accessed a genetic memory? I believe those memories do exist and are part of our character makeup. My youngest son has in his ancestry a large component of the Aryan race. As a young infant, he showed racial discrimination against the color of black skin, despite being taught quite the opposite. For some unexplained reason, he exhibited signs of revulsion, which I could not understanding, as it is not part of my makeup or how I nurtured my children in their upbringing. Yet he was too young to know any better, so I can only assume he was accessing a genetic memory and using that memory to decode the world around him. Genetic memory explains fears of things that we should not be afraid of and could be the answer to the problem of reincarnation and shared dreaming. The brain is still not fully understood in what it does, with memory being the largest area of not knowing. The other issue that clouds demonic possession is labeling. People are labeled for all sorts of reasons, including they are different. What if a person right from childhood was told constantly they were evil? The sad thing about labeling is that after a while, the more it occurs and the more people do it, that eventually the one being labeled accepts the label and starts to act in ways which define the label. Thus, eventually being told you are evil, you start to believe and accept you are evil. And finally, to reinforce the label and beliefs, you act evilly. Since every force has an opposite and equal reaction, to be in balance, there must occur a bad thing for every good thing. Humans have a balance of good, bad. Given this assumption, and based on Christian doctrine, for every Christian saved, to balance the equation means another must be possessed by evil or demons. Another interesting trend in metaphysics is the acceptance of demons. These demons are evil too and appear similar to the Christian definition. In investigation of hauntings, demons are stated to be sometimes the cause. And that's just one part of the book. It's not just religious, it talks about aliens. And I will get onto religion. So that was the 4 religion. So here's the chapter on religion. Surely God created us. As the assertion is untestifiable, it is therefore a matter of faith. It also frees us from responsibility of being who we really are, creators. At present, there seems to be 2 main prevalent views on the topic of our origins. Either some great being created us, or evolution and the Big Bang Theory. Why do we need to know? It is part of our nature. We simply do not like unknowns. If we do not know an answer, then we tend to make up one. For the ancients, gods lived in the sky. For us, we have a hunger to know where we came from and to explore places. We are inquisitive creatures. We like to discover. To find out what is there is to conquer an unknown. What is unknown is feared. This is instinctual. Until it is discovered or solved, it has a potential to be or to act upon in ways which are unknown and which could possibly threaten survival. Humans are unable to accept things as is. Infinite is beyond comprehension. We simply have to know. Cavemen may have met aliens as advanced civilizations, not necessarily from another planet, but because they had flying machines, labeled them as gods. Similarly, catastrophes such as earthquakes took such a great toll on populations, it would have been easy to start sacrificing virgins in the hope it would appease the earth, and gods would have developed that way. Exchange of information would have occurred when different cultures came into contact with one another, such as trading. Such would have passed on and perhaps eventually accepting the broader society. Whatever the origins, by 2,000 years ago, the authorities needed people united in thought, beliefs, and education, and introduced Christianity. Eventually, this new religion became so powerful that one was punished if one was not part of it. It started holy wars. In other parts of the world, other religions held sway over their populaces. Yet Christianity even coloured some of them, including Islam. Muhammad wanted the Arabs to have a God, as he believed the Christian God was for the Jews. Every religion punished those who dared to disobey, who would not accept heretics, ethnics, and enemies. Every religion justified their wars, their torture, their imprisonment of others, their terrorist acts, their martyrdom, their government, or their tenets of faith, and each believed them to be right or closer to God or enlightenment. Every religion knew how to mind control people into accepting what is true and what is not, and to act accordingly. Even in the case of holy wars, they used the propaganda of doing righteous work to kill and injure others. Unfortunately, for many religions nowadays, people no longer blindly accept justification for murdering others, and where they once feared the consequences of the wrath of a God, they now fear the insane acts of some religious fanatical. In fact, many fear the religion itself, all of being trapped, of being in a cult. Ironically, a manipulation that once used fear to make people believe is now feared. It is time for a new manipulation. And I don't want to go on. So that religions, surely God created us, was a chapter before demonic possession. If you've stayed with me this far, thank you for watching, and I will continue over the next few days to make other videos as well as read excerpts from books I have written and published on Amazon. Take care of each other and yourselves. Love, light, and blessings. Good night from Jem.